Now, for more on Google, though, we are joined by Adam Klein. He's the CEO of EMusic.com, also the former CEO of AskJeeves.com, and has consulted for media and technology companies. Has been following what Larry Page has been doing in this last year. Adam, great to have you with us.
Thanks so much.
So today is the one-year anniversary of Larry Page, and what you've said is that, look, it's been interesting to see what Larry Page has done as much as what he hasn't done in this last year, right?
That's right. Look, I think the jury is still out on Larry. When he came in, he cleaned up some stuff that should have been taken care of. He sold off a few things which had no business being in Google in the first place. And very importantly, he focused on the core business. He protect the family jewels, look after the ad business. 96% of his revenue is advertising. And I think most importantly, he really addressed the issue of culture in the organization. It had become quite bureaucratic, decision-making was slow, there was a perception that you couldn't...
Very corporate, right?
Very corporate, and you couldn't keep the exciting young talent.
Okay.
He's turned that around. So that's all the good news that I think's happened in the first year. But the big question is, okay, so what's going to move the needle here? And we've seen no real strategy that suggests anything other than their ability to have large audiences which they monetize with advertising.
So you're saying like YouTube, their
Yes.
business there, for instance, which they get a lot of viewers and a lot of users, but you're saying they're not monetizing that well enough.
They're starting to, but it was typical of they go and acquire something that's got a large audience, and they'll monetize that over time. They'll get there. But then you look at their efforts, you know, the so-called Groupon killer. You know, I mean, Google offers, so what? You can get coffee today at half price, apparently. It's not moving anything, and it's a catch-up game. Google Plus, their attempt at being the Facebook killer.
Right.
They got 100 million folks signed up, but not very many people are using it.
No.
Their music. I don't know who was trying to kill, but there's no there. So you wonder, okay, those are all catch-up games to some degree. The Motorola...
Well, what's the killer, basically?
Yeah, what's the killer and what's the new big growth that either leverages the ad capabilities, of which they are completely exceptional, or grows a whole new business? And I think people are looking for that before they'll judge his permanent impact.
Well, what I thought was interesting was a statement you made earlier, which is that, you know, he's, as you said, brought back sort of this entrepreneurial spirit at Google, but he's also a control freak.
Yes, he is.
and that's the problem, right?
Look, I think that's a huge constraint. You've got to let creativity go. And one of the things that Google have done, you know, in the last year they acquired 50 small companies, they've had a bunch of initiatives that they try and let people do things, but you really got to let that happen and then back what you think are going to be the few winners.
Right.
And we're not seeing any of that at the moment. It's much more my way, my process. Yes, that was good for reintroducing discipline. That's not good for growth.
And what's interesting, there are reports that he is fascinated or obsessed with Facebook. Maybe he's got some big obsession with Mark Zuckerberg, but, you know, what does that tell you that he is obsessed with what's going on with Facebook? They
out-Googled Google. They came in with a concept, they grew it at the most unbelievable rates. I remember when Larry was, and Sergey were sort of early on in the days of Google, they had a tiger by the tail. They no longer have a tiger by the tail, and that's exactly what Facebook has represented, and it's in a community and an audience that are important to him, and potentially search could go inside Facebook. That's a real threat to Google.
Okay, all right, Adam, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Great
Adam
pleasure.
Klein, the president and CEO of EMusic.com and the former CEO of Ask Jeeves.